Hello everyone, respected sir. Today I am going to speak on Sylvia Plath poem Daddy, which is one of the most powerful poem in women's writing. So Sylvia Plath was a famous modern poet and Daddy was written in 1962. It was published after her death in her poetry collection Ariel. This poem is major example of conventional poetry where the poet expresses personal pain and emotions very openly. At the first, that it looks like a poem about Sylvia Plath's father. Her father died when she was very young and this deeply affected her life. In the poem, the speaker talks directly to her sadness, but this poem is not only about her father. It also represents the larger condition of women in male dominated society. In Daddy, the father becomes a symbol of male power and control. He is shown as a dominating and frightening figure. Through this image, Plath shows how women often feel emotionally trapped under the patriarchal authority. So the poem is not just personal, it is also political. So another important point is the Plath connects the father figure to the husband. So in the poem, the speaker says she is married a man who is like her father. So this shows how women often move from one form of male control to another. So from father to husband. So in this way, Plath shows how patriarchy continues in women's lives through family and marriage. So what makes daddy so important in women's writing? So is it strong female voice? So Sylvia Plath does not write like a silent or obedient woman. She writes with anger, pain, and resistance. She gives voice to female suffering and female rebellion. This was very bold because women's anger was often ignored silence in literature. So the poem is powerful because it turns personal suffering into protest. Path uses her own pain to speak about women's oppression in society. That is why Daddy is not just a personal poem but also a feminist poem. So, in conclusion, I would like to conclude that Sylvia Plath's Daddy is an important poem in women's writing because it speaks about pain, power, patriarchy, and resistance. It shows a woman trying to break free from fear and oppression. That is what makes Daddy one of the most strongest voices in feminist literature. Thank you.